Thank you to our sponsor, MBA Growth Partners.
Hello and welcome to Studio 501c3. I'm your host, Kim Jones, Executive Director of the Nonprofit Village. The show is brought to you to highlight nonprofit organizations designated as 501c3 by the IRS. They get this designation by providing a public benefit, and in most cases, your donations to them are tax deductible. Studio 501c3 is a collaboration between Nonprofit Village and Montgomery Community Media. As partners, we feature Montgomery County's critical nonprofit programs and services. Today, we are featuring Comfort Cases, a nonprofit established to bring dignity and hope to young people in foster care. And joining me to talk about some of those programs is founder Rob Scheer. Rob, thanks, and I'm so happy that you're here today. Welcome.
It's nice to meet you, Kim, and thank you so much for having me.
Great. So can we start briefly with a little bit about your own experience and how it moved you to create this program that's really impacting children in the system today?
Well, I really do believe that our community is not our zip code, it's our human race. And for me, I was a kid who grew up in the system carrying a trash bag, graduated from high school. And as a homeless kid, I had decided at the age of 18 that I was not going to allow the trash bag to define me. And I joined the military. I became a very successful businessman. And I never looked back until 12 years ago when 4 of the most amazing humans walked into my life, my children. And all 4 of them were carrying a trash bag. I couldn't believe that we live in a county that is so rich, a country that swears they give back, but we cannot do something about giving a child a trash bag. And I just felt like as leaders, it is our responsibility to get in the game and play, to stop standing on the sidelines and pointing out what's wrong, but truly make change. And that's how we started Comfort Cases.
Great. All right. So some of the data that I saw on your website indicates that a child enters foster care every 2 minutes. I think 500,000 a year. Is that rising? Is it declining? What's going on with that number?
Kim, the fact is that the pandemic, children in foster care, they've been suffering from a pandemic the day they walked in. 700 is the number that I think about every time I go to bed and every time I wake up. Why that number? Because that's how many kids in our country enter foster care every single day, 700. And you also must understand that 83% of all cases reported to Child and Family Service agencies are done by frontline workers, our teachers. And so kids have not been in front of a teacher in so many months. Can you imagine what we need to prepare ourselves for?
They see that every day and they can make those connections and they're not getting the connection isn't there because it's behind a piece of glass.
Yeah. And most of the screens aren't even turned on. But at Comfort Cases, the one thing that we want to make sure happens is we're doing exactly what you and I are doing today. And that's talking about it. Because change happens when people talk about the issue. And for some reason, for so many years, people didn't want to talk about the fact that kids carry trash bags. Well, I'm here to tell you, we have given out over 100,000 cases in 7 years. We are a 96% volunteer-ran charity, and we have made a ripple through the waves of our ocean like you wouldn't believe. And we're not done. And by the way, again, this has all happened because the love of our community.
Right. What's included in a comfort case?
Some of the most important things that any child deserves to have on their first night. Understand that kids come into foster care because of choices other people made, not because of a choice they made. And every child deserves to have a brand new pair of pajamas with a tag on it. Every child deserves to have their own lotion, their own shampoo, their own conditioner, and their own bar of soap. And my friends, I will tell you that if you don't think a bar of soap is that important to give a child in the system, the next time you go stay in a hotel, ask them to leave the bar of soap from the people before you. You won't do it. It's called dignity. Then we give every kid an activity. Every child gets a book. Every child gets a stuffed animal. And then finally, every child gets a blankie. My son Grayson was 6 years old at the time when we started this organization. He's now 13. He said, Daddy, we must give every kid a blankie. I said, a blankie? I said, these kids are not cold. He said, no, Daddy. Every time they wrap themselves up in their blankie, they know we love them. See, Kim, at the end of the day, that's what each and every one of us want. We want to be loved. We want to know that we're not disposable. We're not invisible, and we deserve more than a trash bag.
And it's so interesting how just one item like that. I remember when my own son, who's graduating college next week, was in middle school, and you had these projects you could pick from for your service learning hours. And he said, I want to do something. I want to design something. And he wanted it to be something with stuffed animals because he had taken a stuffed animal someone had given him because he has allergies, and he had donated it to a child. He said, so maybe I could do something with stuffed animals. And he ended up connecting with another charity, a hospice charity, and for a year and a half did stuffed animal drives. And the feedback to him was incredible. So what it did for the children that got a stuffed animal because they were grieving from the loss of a parent, and what it did for him. So yeah, when we get involved with things like this, it also does something for us, not just the child.
Kids helping kids. That's the way our future will be bright, my friend.
Right. Exactly. Do you have opportunities for people to donate items and?
Yes, we actually collect thousands and thousands and thousands of hours every single month. We are open 6 days a week. We have opportunities for all ages. And by the way, we have no age restrictions at Comfort Cases. And you can go to visit comfortcases.org, get where exactly we're located, sign up for volunteer hours. We have evening hours and weekend. And even with the pandemic, our governor reached out and said, you are essential. So we still make sure that happens.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll find out a little bit more. You can share more about the challenges and the opportunities faced by this problem of children in foster care and what Comfort Cases is doing. You're watching Studio 501c3 on Montgomery Community Media. We'll be right back.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfies. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to bed.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back to Studio 501c3. I'm Kim Jones, and with me is Rob Scheer, founder of Comfort Cases. So let's go back to how many. You told us that there are 700 kids entering foster care every single day in this country. There's 500,000 at any time. There's just, the numbers are staggering. How many cases? You said 100,000?
Yes, we've actually delivered over 100,000 cases to all 50 states, DC, and Puerto Rico. And I have to remind all your,
How do you get those cases to the other states? Are you having to ship in bulk? Or are you shipping one at a time? How are you doing that?
No, actually, we do ship 50 cases at a time to agencies throughout the United States from birth up to the age of 19. So anyone who is that is working with children in our foster care system, they can go to comfortcases.org, they can go to the order tab, and they can order up to 50 cases. We actually also send them what we call a Comfort XL, which is a 32-inch duffel bag that goes along with their Comfort case, because we know the case is a backpack and it will not eliminate the trash bag, but the Comfort XL will. See, the thing is I say this quite often, we never ask for money from anyone who asks for a case, but what we ask people to do is to do what we're doing, Kim, which is to talk about it, help us figure out the problem, and never, ever hand another child a trash bag, because it's not acceptable. Here in Montgomery County, we actually charge at our grocery stores every single time you use a plastic bag. Explain to me why we as a county do allow a trash bag to be given to a child to carry their belongings. It's not acceptable. And it's happening all over our country.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Tell me, in what other ways you're funded? I know you get a lot of donations and you can use more. And we want viewers, when they go to the website, which we put up on screen, to be able to donate and volunteer. But how else are you funded?
So I will tell you, being a 96% volunteer ran charity, we have no corporate sponsors as of today. None. All of our funding comes from either 2 grants that we receive, one from the county, one from another source, and they all come from you, people like you. We receive donations all over the country from every single state. And by the way, Kim, we track our donations. We've received them from every continent, except for Antarctica, because the penguins can't figure it out yet. But everyone is given to us. And so literally, we receive 87% of our funding is from other humans who realize this is our responsibility. And, I have to tell you, these kids, they don't belong to you and they don't belong to me. They belong to us,
all of us.
And we must make their future brighter.
Good. We'll make sure to get more information, and we want people to also continue to volunteer. As you said, there are almost like packing parties. You can, I don't want to make light of this, but there are opportunities to come out and help pack these goods. So you and your husband are parents of 5 children?
Five. So our 5th child just arrived in the fall of last year. He was a senior in high school. He'd been in the system most of his life. He graduated in June, and now he's a freshman in college. And so we have a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, and our new son who is 19. And we actually will finalize his adoption at the beginning of next year.
Oh, that's exciting. And and welcome to the land of college tuition also. Good luck with that. But it's a great example of another way that people can get involved. There's probably not nearly enough people that, as you say, are having the conversation about going a little bit deeper and looking at actually either adopting or fostering children.
Kim, I have to tell you, each and every one of us are doers, and we all have the opportunity to do. So not everybody's made for adoption, and not everybody's made for foster care, and not everybody has the money to actually donate. But guess what? Each and every one of us have the most valuable thing there is, and that's our time. And so everybody can volunteer. We can all do more within our community.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we've run out of time, and I know there's a lot more, but there's a lot of information on the website. So I want to thank you, Rob, for being here today and sharing the story about how you started Comfort Cases, how residents can help, how we can all contribute. To find out more, you can go to comfortcases.org and get more information. We want you to join us next time for Studio 501c3, which is your link to nonprofits in Montgomery County. I'm Kim Jones. See you next time on Montgomery Community Media.